How's it going, YouTube? It's Stevo here on this beautiful Tuesday. and I was just kind of sitting around thinking about what I'd like to see in a new Pokemon gen. And I mean, like, all just different stuff they haven't done yet. And I decided to make a video about it and share my ideas. This video is going to be more audio than video clips or anything like that. Because obviously, most of the things that I say on this list don't even exist. It's just ideas that I wish they would implement. So I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible and just try to get right to the point. And if you have any of your ideas that you'd like to share, please leave it in the comments below. So I hope you enjoy the video. So for number 5 on my list, I'd have to say would be the season mechanic and old regions. And what I mean by that is like having seasons like they did in Generation 5 and being able to visit old regions like in Gen 2 where you could go back to Kanto. Not necessarily bring back all of them. I mean, I'm sure no one would be disappointed with having every single region in one game. But I mean, just to go back to one, maybe you can like optional choose it. I'm not sure how they would make a story out of it, but it could be done. And it would be good because you can extend the game that much longer and have so much more stuff and legendaries to do. So I feel like that would be really cool. So that's the 5th thing on my list. And for the 4th thing on my list, I would like to see a lot more Elite Four and Champion interactions in the story. I'd like to actually get to battle alongside them, battle against them, do things with them and missions with all 4 of them and the Champion. Because I feel like in Generation 6, you only seen the Elite Four right when you're about to battle them. You don't even know them. Like, you didn't get to know them. You don't have no attachments. Like, I want to get to the Elite Four and say, yeah, I want to beat so-and-so. Not, oh, okay, that's the Elite Four. And the Champion, same with him. Like, they did really good with Lance, where he battles alongside you, Team Rocket. So it's like, it's cool because he's your partner, but then you battle him at the end. And also with the rival, make him more of a rival. Not so much a best friend. Make it so you want to kick his ass at the end of the game. Not just, ooh, friendly, and, it's not really competitive. Or even make him the champion, or make him an Elite Four member, or a gym leader. I think that'd be really cool. They could take any one of those routes, and I think people would really like it. So that's the 4th thing on my list. So for the 3rd thing on my list, I'd like to see even more than the first 2 is more unique types. And what I mean by that is like type differences like dragon and fairy, just types that are very uncommon or unheard of. And I'd like the starting 3 Pokemon to have a fire and poison type, a grass and electric type, and a water and ghost type. I feel like that hasn't obviously been done. And I feel like those would be really cool designs. I'm not sure what they would look like, but they could be creative with it. And I'd like to see a lot more unique types, because I feel like it really changed the game up a lot. And you're going to get new types combinations every generation, but that's just one of the things I always look forward to the most. But I was a little disappointed because in X and Y, they just added normal onto a lot of stuff and didn't feel really cool to me. I'm glad they made a poison dragon type finally. And I don't like when they make a unique typing out of a mega evolution. Like Altaria with the Dragon Fairy. Altaria is one of my favorites. Love the Dragon Fairy, but I wish they made one that's not a mega evolution. Like things like that. I wish they'd make more normal evolutionary lines with unique typings. So that'll be the number 3 thing on my list. For the 2nd thing on my list would be to implement different kind of game modes that you could play at the starting menu. And I've actually seen this a lot through a lot of people requesting this, whether it's a different game slot so you can actually have 2 different save files, or you can have a Nuzlocke challenge built right into the game. I think a lot of people would like that because, it would force you to release the Pokemon that faint. And one that I personally would like to see more than both of those is just like in Ocarina of Time, if you guys recall, if you have played that game, the remake they made for the 3DS, when you beat the original story, you can unlock a second game mode that plays the whole story out again, only it's in mirror mode, and it's way more difficult. It doesn't necessarily have to be mirror mode where everything's flipped. Wouldn't really mind that either, but I like the game to be a little more difficult, so that way you can play the normal version if it's just too difficult for you, and then you can play the more difficult version where the gym leaders, champion, and etc. are all a lot tougher to beat and harder to train up for. So I feel like you'd have to really strategic teams just to beat the game. And that would be one thing that I've always wanted to see in a game. So that takes number 2 spot on my list. And finally, the last thing on my list is good Mega Evolutions. There's already a lot of good ones, but I want them to continue making good ones. And I know you're probably thinking that there's a lot of other things on this list that should take the first spot, but the reason I put Mega Evolutions as number 1 is because it's the only thing on this list that we're guaranteed gonna get. All the other things are just wishful thinking by me, but Mega Evolutions is a certainty, and I want them to be good ones. And by good, I don't mean high stats or OP Pokemon getting jacked up even more. I mean good ones as in good ideas, bringing Pokemon that never get used back into the game, mixing up the typings a lot more, making their designs look nice, and the most important thing to me is mainly giving them the Pokemon that people don't use anymore. Like Beedrill and Pidgeot, that was great. I love to see that. Some Gen 1ers that really are irrelevant getting back into the game. Now Beedrill can compete with Mewtwo. Like, that's just so awesome. Charizard, Mewtwo, why are you giving them 2? I mean, that's a slap in the face to all Bulbasaur and Squirtle fans to give their favorites 1 while Charizard gets fucking 2. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with that one, but it blows my mind. I can't believe they did that. That's such a bullshit move, but either way, I hope they get a lot of nice new ones, and I'm looking forward to using all of them. So that will conclude this list. I was just basically thinking about it and wanted to make a movie about it to share my thoughts. If you have any cool ideas or similar ideas but just different variations of mine, leave them in the comments below. If you have your own unique types of starters or Elite Four lineups or Mega Evolutions that you'd like to see, leave it in the comments below. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.